So today we are going to learn a little bit about LCD. So when we were doing macrobit, we had that LED matrix on which we could display stuff. But with Arduino, we do not have anything inbuilt, but we would still like to display stuff. Now, using 2x16 LCD, it's a bit of a task. You cannot find it in the basic components over here, but if you search LCD, you'll get it. This is basically 16x2 LCD. And if you notice, it has 16 pins as well. So it's a whole circuit in itself. It's not a normal sensor with 2 to 3 pins. It has a lot of different things. It has its own data set pins, it has its own memory, it has its own registers, and it obviously takes some 5-volt power to work. So to convert it into, or rather to connect it to Arduino, you will have to use quite a few of those pins. I'm just going to use a starter circuit over here. Starter circuits, some of them are available and you can use it once you know how the circuit really works. But with LCD, we will use a starter circuit. So when you search LCD, you will get it over here. As you can see that over here, we are using 12 pins of LCD. Only this 4 pins we will not be using, everything else we are using. And we have connected it to different pins of Arduino. We have it connected to the data pins 5, 4, 3, 2 and to some pins 11 and 12. Now what we are going to do, or how we are going to program, you can just study the default program that is generated. Another thing is LCD doesn't support block programming, so you will have to program in text when you program an LCD. So this is the basic program that has already comes up with the LCD. We can just start simulation to see how it looks like. That's the basic program. What it basically does is it prints hello world and prints number of seconds from which the Arduino has been on, and that's pretty much it. If you see the code, we are passing it the pins 12, 11, 5, 4, 3, 2, which are the pins that we have connected over here, to register select, the enable pin, and data pins 4, 5, 6, 7. The ground and VCC will be 5 volt and 0 obviously, and V0 is contrast. You can get highest contrast when you connect it to ground, or in this case you have connected it to potentiometer, and the only way you can see what is being printed is to make sure the potential is at its lowest, yeah, or rather towards the terminal 2, which is connected directly to ground. Main thing is to make sure that it is towards terminal 2, so the contrast remains high. All right, LEDs again are given just 5 volts and ground, and that's it. Now there is a library that we include over here which is called liquidcrystal.h, and we include it using the command hash include liquidcrystal.h. You don't need to memorize it. This is a default code. It is copyright free. It's an open source code. You can all use it at any time to modify it. Here we are passing the values 12, 11, 5, 4, 3, 2. This just initializes liquid crystal LCD to let LCD know, or rather the library know, that we have our 12 pin connected to register select, 11 as enable, and 5432 as our data pins. Here what we have done, we have begun the LCD, or rather initialized the LCD by mentioning rows and columns. The reason we, or rather columns and rows, the reason we do this is this library can be used for any LCD. So here we have to let it know that this is a 2x16 one. We also call it a 2x16 because it has 2 rows and 16 columns, and that is only how much it can print. And here you have it in the loop. We have set cursor as 0 and 1. So the number system in Arduino begins with 0, and we want to print it at the first, or rather the second row and the first column. So that's why it is 0 and 1. If you change it, like I would change it right now to let's try 1, 1. You will see a space that will come in the very beginning before it's, yeah, there you go. This because this is the first column, this is the 0th column, and 1 row. And this is basically just a code to count the number of seconds. It's normally in milliseconds, so we are dividing it by 1000. That's it. That is the basic understanding of LCD. Let's tweak it a little bit. Instead of hello world, let's write welcome. To start simulation, you can see welcome. Instead of lcd.print milliseconds, you can even print something else, say design. And you can see it is, yeah. If you wanted it to be such that you want design to start from here, you would simply have to count that 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So you would probably start with, hold on, you'd probably start with 7 and start the simulation, and you will see, yeah, there you go, welcome design. And that's basically your LCD. You can change it as much as you want.